Genghis Khan, born as Temujin around 1162 in the Mongolian steppes, emerged as one of the most remarkable and influential figures in world history. He was the son of Yasujii, a minor Mongol chieftain, and his wife, Holun. From an early age, Temujin faced considerable hardship, including the death of his father when he was only 9, leaving his family vulnerable to rival tribes. This hardship shaped his early years and fostered in him a fierce determination for survival and leadership. As a young man, Temujin began to unite the Mongol tribes, starting with the alliance of several smaller tribes in the late 12th century. His leadership was characterized by a focus on merit and loyalty, contrasting with the traditional tribal hierarchies where power was often determined by birthright. He built his reputation through military prowess and strategic alliances, securing his position as a formidable force in the region. By 1206, after years of warfare and diplomacy, Temujin was declared Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler, by the Mongol Tribal Assembly, a title marking the beginning of his vast empire. Under Genghis Khan, the Mongols became known for their highly organized military, exceptional tactics, and fierce discipline. His army, composed largely of cavalry, used speed and mobility to outmaneuver enemies. One of Genghis Khan's key innovations was his ability to utilize intelligence and psychological warfare, often using deception and intimidation to sow fear and confusion among his enemies. His forces also employed advanced siege tactics, and their ability to adapt to different terrains and opponents made them formidable. Genghis Khan's conquests were not limited to Mongol tribes alone. He expanded his empire through campaigns across Central Asia, China, Persia, and Eastern Europe. His first major conquest was the Jin dynasty in northern China, which he began attacking in the early 1210s. By 1215, he had captured their capital, Zhongdu, modern-day Beijing, marking a significant milestone in his campaign to control China. His forces were relentless, and many cities fell to the Mongols, often after intense sieges. The Mongols' methods were brutal, and many cities that resisted were destroyed, with entire populations slaughtered or enslaved. In addition to his military conquests, Genghis Khan established policies that promoted trade, communication, and cultural exchange across his empire. He created a system of written laws known as the Yasa, which helped maintain order in the vast and diverse territories he controlled. He encouraged trade and the movement of goods along the Silk Road, which led to a period of relative stability and prosperity in regions under Mongol rule. His empire became a melting pot of cultures, with various ethnic groups living and trading together, facilitating the exchange of ideas, technology, and goods. While his military successes are widely recognized, Genghis Khan's leadership also had a lasting impact on the world in ways beyond conquest. His empire helped to connect the East and the West, bridging cultures that had been separated for centuries. The Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous land empire in history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean in the east to the Caspian Sea in the west, encompassing much of modern-day China, Mongolia, Russia, and Central Asia, with extensions into Europe and the Middle East. Genghis Khan's legacy is also marked by his ability to create a highly structured and efficient administration. Despite the nomadic origins of the Mongols, he established a system of governance that included the recruitment of skilled administrators, many of whom were from conquered peoples. His empire was divided into khanates, each ruled by one of his descendants, and the leadership of these khanates helped to maintain order across the vast territory. The death of Genghis Khan in 1227, under uncertain circumstances, did not bring an end to the Mongol Empire. His sons and grandsons continued to expand his conquests, with Kublai Khan, his grandson, eventually founding the Yuan dynasty in China. However, Genghis Khan's death marked a significant turning point in Mongol history as his empire began to fragment, leading to the eventual disintegration of the unified Mongol state. Genghis Khan's influence endured long after his death. He remains a figure of great importance in both Mongolian and world history. His legacy is viewed with ambivalence, as his empire was both a force of devastation and a catalyst for cultural and economic exchange. In Mongolia, He is regarded as a national hero and symbol of unity, strength, and resilience. Following Genghis Khan's death, the Mongol Empire was divided among his four sons, with each inheriting a portion of the vast territories that he had conquered. The empire's division did not prevent the Mongols from continuing their influence across a wide expanse of land, but it did lead to the eventual fragmentation of their unified rule. His sons, including Jebe, Jochi, Chagatai, and Ogedai, played crucial roles in continuing the legacy of their father's conquests. Ogedai, the third son, was named Genghis Khan's successor and became the Great Khan in 1229. Under Ogedai's leadership, the Mongols continued their conquests. His reign saw the Mongols push deeper into the Middle East, with the invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire and the subsequent destruction of cities such as Samarkand and Bokhara, which had been centers of culture and learning. At the same time, the Mongol military campaigns extended into Europe, with Mongol forces reaching as far west as Hungary and Poland before the death of Ogedai in 1241 forced them to retreat. Despite setbacks, the expansion continued through the leadership of subsequent Khans. While the Mongol Empire expanded under Genghis Khan's successors, the challenges of governing such a vast and diverse empire began to grow. The differences in local customs, religions, and administrative practices in the conquered regions posed a problem for Mongol rulers. However, the Mongols employed skilled administrators from many cultures, which allowed them to manage their domains with relative efficiency. For example, the Mongols made use of Persian, Chinese, and even European bureaucrats to help organize their territories and maintain stability. Genghis Khan's empire, through its conquests, also opened up unprecedented trade routes across Asia and Europe. The famous Silk Road, which had previously been sporadic and dangerous, was revitalized under Mongol rule. This revitalization fostered the exchange of not only goods but also ideas, including innovations in technology, science, and medicine. Through the Mongol Empire, paper, gunpowder, and other inventions moved from China to the West, influencing developments in Europe and the Middle East. Religiously, Genghis Khan was known for his tolerance of different faiths. He himself practiced shamanism, but his empire embraced multiple religious traditions. His policies allowed various religious groups, such as Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and Jews, to practice their faiths freely, creating a pluralistic society within the Mongol Empire. This tolerance helped him secure the loyalty of people in the diverse regions he conquered, enabling him to consolidate power and create a lasting empire. In terms of military strategy, Genghis Khan's genius continued to influence military leaders long after his death. His innovative tactics, such as the use of feigned retreats, surprise attacks, and the ability to move quickly across vast distances, set the foundation for future military campaigns across the world. His emphasis on strict discipline, organization, and coordination within his army made it possible for the Mongols to achieve such overwhelming successes despite often being outnumbered. Over time, however, the unity of the Mongol Empire began to erode. The Mongols found it difficult to maintain control over such an enormous expanse, and internal divisions between the various khanates weakened the empire. The rise of local powers and rebellions in various parts of the empire, such as the rise of the Timurids in Central Asia, further contributed to the decline of Mongol authority. Despite this, the Mongol Empire remained a key political and cultural influence for centuries. The final end of the Mongol Empire came over several centuries. The Yuan dynasty in China, founded by Kublai Khan, fell in 1368 after a rebellion led to the establishment of the Ming dynasty. Meanwhile, the Golden Horde, one of the Mongol khanates in Russia, began to lose power in the 15th century. Central Asia, once a powerful Mongol stronghold, saw the rise of new powers such as the Timurid Empire. However, the legacies of the Mongols persisted through their contributions to global trade, governance, and culture. Genghis Khan's influence on the world is still evident today. While the methods he employed to expand his empire were often brutal, his reign also marked an era of innovation, connection, and transformation. His legacy as a conqueror is balanced by his role as a unifier of Euras. Genghis Khan's influence extended beyond his own lifetime, as his descendants carried on his legacy in various ways. His empire, although fragmented after his death, continued to shape the political landscape of Eurasia for generations. The expansion of the Mongol Empire opened new trade routes, particularly along the Silk Road, and fostered an era of cultural and economic exchange between the East and West. This period, often referred to as the Pax Mongolica, lasted through the 13th and 14th centuries and was marked by a relative stability and prosperity across the vast territories controlled by the Mongols. His empire also had a significant impact on the development of military tactics and warfare. Genghis Khan's innovations in military organization, such as the use of highly mobile cavalry, were adopted by many subsequent military leaders and empires. The Mongol strategy of psychological warfare, including the use of fear and intimidation, set a precedent for future conquerors. The Mongols' ability to adapt to various forms of combat, from open field battles to sieges, showcased their tactical brilliance and helped them overcome numerically superior forces. One of the key aspects of Genghis Khan's success was his approach to leadership. He was a leader who valued loyalty, discipline, and merit above traditional tribal hierarchies. His ability to unite diverse Mongol clans and form a cohesive military force was a remarkable achievement. He appointed his generals and administrators based on their ability and loyalty rather than their lineage, a practice that broke with the traditional Mongol tribal system, where positions of power were often inherited. This meritocratic system not only strengthened his leadership, but also attracted skilled individuals from conquered territories, enriching the Mongol administration and military. Genghis Khan's impact on the world was not limited to warfare and governance. He also played a crucial role in the spread of technologies, culture, and ideas across his empire. Under Mongol rule, knowledge from different parts of the world was exchanged freely, facilitating the transfer of innovations such as gunpowder, papermaking, and printing techniques between East and West. Additionally, the Mongol Empire's policies of religious tolerance allowed for the coexistence of different faiths, including Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and various indigenous beliefs, creating a pluralistic society that fostered intellectual and cultural growth. However, despite these achievements, Genghis Khan's reign was not without its critics. His conquests were marked by widespread destruction and loss of life, and many cities and civilizations were devastated by his armies. The brutality of his campaigns left a legacy of fear and resentment in some regions, particularly in parts of China, Persia, and Eastern Europe. The Mongols' tactics of mass slaughter and the use of terror were employed as instruments of psychological warfare, with the goal of breaking the will of enemy populations. As a result, Genghis Khan's reputation in certain parts of the world remains one of devastation and bloodshed. In Mongolia, however, Genghis Khan is celebrated as a national hero and the founder of the Mongol nation. His image is revered in Mongolian culture, where he is seen as a unifier of the Mongol people and a symbol of strength, resilience, and leadership. Statues of Genghis Khan can be found throughout Mongolia, and his legacy is celebrated annually in various forms, including national holidays and festivals. His figure is central to Mongolian identity, and his contributions to the unification and success of the Mongol Empire are viewed with great pride. Genghis Khan's descendants, particularly his grandsons Kublai Khan and Hulagu Khan, carried forward his legacy and expanded the empire further. Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty in China, becoming the first non-Han emperor to rule the country. His reign marked a new era in Chinese history, characterized by increased trade, cultural exchange, and the flourishing of the arts. Hulagu Khan, on the other hand, led the Mongol conquest of the Middle East and played a key role in the downfall of the Islamic Caliphate in Baghdad. Despite the fragmentation of the Mongol Empire after Genghis Khan's death, the influence of the Mongol state continued to shape the course of history. The Mongol Empire provided a model of centralized power, military organization, and international cooperation that influenced the development of later empires. The Mongols' success in establishing a transcontinental empire also set the stage for the rise of other global powers, as it demonstrated the potential for a unified empire spanning vast territories. The story of Genghis Khan is one of paradoxes. He was both a ruthless conqueror and a visionary leader. He destroyed civilizations, yet also helped create the conditions for cultural exchange and economic growth. His empire was built on bloodshed, yet it laid the foundations for a more connected and interconnected world. His life and legacy continue to be the subject of intense study, debate, and fascination, and his impact on history is undeniable. Genghis Khan remains one of the most important figures in world history, and his story is a testament to the power of leadership, vision, and the ability to reshape the course of history.